Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. All right, first of all, let's see some flowers for everybody who has seen the documentary on HBO. Or if it's easier, just type HBO. Just curious to see who's seen it already. Also, I think I better get rid of the trolls before they get all warmed up and all emboldened by their freedom to be here. Unfortunately, we have to take that freedom away because they abuse it. So, gonna go back 1 week. So, subscribers who have not subscribed as recent as a week ago may find it difficult. I'm sorry. Well, you know what I mean. If you subscribed less than a week ago, you may find it difficult to comment, if not impossible. So let me see. 1 week subscribers. There we go. All right. Just getting rid of those people so that they don't mess with my mojo, disrupt things. We don't need that. Okay. I hope that worked. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm looking. What do we have here? So how many people have seen it? Oh gosh, not many. Miss Wise Senior has seen it. Who else has seen it? Don Robinson. Okay. Connie Balmer. Hi, Connie Balmer. Church Nelly. You haven't seen it? Let's see. Anybody else? Oh man, because I watched it last night. It was quite emotional. Very informative though. It's a lot of stuff you kind of feel like you know it already, and then so many things. It's just like, what? When did that happen? Where was I at? So, I'm sorry. Where was I? Where was I at? Let me see. Was the documentary on Will and Kate losing half the Commonwealth? Oh no, Sean. We unfortunately we haven't had that one put together yet, but soon somebody is going to create a documentary making that the definitive moment when the British Commonwealth, or I'm sorry, the Commonwealth. I guess it's British Commonwealth, when that was lost forever. So, uh, Purple Versace. So let me say hi to a few people before I get started. Like, for instance, I've already said hello to Connie Balmer. Okay, let me clean my glasses a bit here. Okay. Uh, wow. Okay. What else is that? Oh, okay. All kind of little news clips are popping up. Hello, H. Knight, Helen Churn, Marine Diani. I'm sorry, Denian. Okay. Um, who else? Rodney Jackson, Vanessa V, Brenda Lee. Let's see. Diane Hawkins wants to say hi to a few people. Hello, Naomi Maria. Crack Me Up Love, Lucy Lynn, Ray Raquel, Marcy Foreman, Zig Owl. Rosa Roberts wants to say hi to a few people. Joan Garcia is here. Let me see. Marcy Foreman, I said that right. Elena, 1220. Let me see. Hi. Oh, Church Nelly, you did watch it, huh? Let me see. Rodney Jackson is here. Mama Jane is here. Okay. And Zavai Lynn, let me see. Masiwa. Okay. Welcome here. Let me see who else is here. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, Zavia is saying hello to squatties all around the globe. That's very sweet. I like that. Oh man, it must be a humid day today. Okay. Now, before let me see, there it is right there. Patricia Lane, thank you so much for being a new member. Thank you. And don't forget, the memberships at Royal Sussex is only $4.99. And why is it so affordable? Because I don't feel like changing it to other levels. I'll do that another day. Hello, Cookies and Cream, Lydia Washington. Okay, who else is here? Uh, Margaret Rollin is here. Jacqueline Baltimore, Jacuzzi. Hazel Bryan. Okay. All right. So, Dari Wiley, hello. Okay. Everybody's here. Live viewers comments show up on StreamYard. This is an example. Click on the comment to show it. Oh, that's for me to read. That's always up there. For some reason, I just decided to click on it today. Speaking of clicking, I have another dental appointment next week. So maybe a couple of days next week, I'm going to be a little later, I think, than usual. So on the 16th, I know for sure. And then another day, I haven't decided yet, maybe the 17th. I'm going to start a little later those days. But aside from that, nothing else eventful on the calendar for me. Um, but yeah, I'm working on getting my smile back. That beautiful smile that I miss so much. Beautiful, if I should say so myself. Marcy Foreman, Baron, I'm pissed that Charles Harry came home from the hospital. Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about that. As a matter of fact, Marcy, thank you so much. You just reminded me I made some notes last night so I could be all over it like a cheap suit. Okay. Thank you. Because I got the notes here and I probably would have been running my mouth and totally missed it. So thank you so much. But yeah, we're going to get into that. I think I made notes up to about half of it. And then after that, I was just too involved to be bothered. Um, oh man, but oh, do I got some stuff to talk about? Well, I talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Talk about moving. You gotta move on. Boy, I tell you, the 80s was some good music, I think. Oh, man. Some words just trigger some of those songs. Talk about moving. But da 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 da, but da 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 da. And then, of course, everybody waits for it. Bum, 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 dun, dun, dun. How many times have I been out on the dance floor just waiting for that little break beat? Oh, man. I don't dance anymore. I used to love the dance. Okay. All right. But enough about that. Huh. What else did I want to do before? Okay. I think I'm good. Okay. So let's move on, shall we? Um, The Princess on HBO. HBO Max, okay? The Princess. Now, I made the thumbnail last night, so I'm so happy because usually after I get done, I want to get out of the chair so bad, but I have to work on the thumbnail. I got everything all set up last night, so there's really nothing for me to do. Okay, so it's a Sundance movie. They said it's Sundance. This thing really awed people when it the what you call it the crowd at the Sundance Film Festival. As you know, there are quite a few movies every year that, as a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there's not some kind of Oscar buzz for putting this together. I mean, technically, it is a documentary, and well, I mean, it's not beyond the realm of possibility, I believe, if it appeared at Sundance. So let's see what happens with that. Let's see. Nazari says, Zari Malkia says, it was very moving and emotional documentary. Harry's eyes are just haunting. Yes, they are quite haunting, aren't they? Yeah, well, looking at him navigating his way through all of those people grieving, and yeah, that was a lot to take in. So let's go here. I want to start off with Northwestern University. I'm going to start off with Northwestern University. In commemoration of the visit of HRH Princess Diana, the Princess of Wales, to Northwestern University, June 4th through 6th, 1996. Well, you guys, June 4th, you guys are familiar with June 4th, right? June 4th is a date on the calendar that most squatties should know. June the 8th, most of us was listening to Tina and Michelle, and we were waiting and wondering and worried, only to find out that Lily Diana was already born and already back home to the stately, palatial, opulent, and yet quite picturesque Sussex Manor in Montecito, California, of course, in the county of Santa Barbara. And as we know, in Montecito, there are no leaks. And so Northwestern was very quick to celebrate the fact that Lilibet Diana was born, and it just happened to be the same day that I guess the biggest day in the history of Northwestern University was a visit from Princess Diana. So on the left side, that is a photo of Diana wearing her Northwestern sweatshirt that she was given as a gift during her visit to Northwestern University. So let's see. She began her tour of campus at University Hall on June 4th, welcomed by President Henry S. Beeman and four undergraduate students. I'll show you guys Beeman later if I didn't cut them out the photos. But yeah, so that's their school colors is purple and white. And of course, we all know that the Duchess of Sussex graduated from the Northwestern University. That is her alma mater, and very proudly so, where she studied, what was it, political? No, I'm sorry, international relations and theater. That is what she studied there. So, quite an interesting connection. Of course, they weren't both on the same campus at the same time. However, years later, Princess Meghan would go on to graduate from Northwestern University and do a internship at the what is it? The Buenos Aires, Argentina, United States embassy. Right, that is where she picked up her Spanish skills. But you know what? I'm thinking that the Duchess of Sussex probably knew a little Spanish before that because a lot of people who live in California, even if they're not conversational in Spanish, they they're pretty familiar with the language. So let's see. All right, so there you go. And there is, and unfortunately, I don't think any of the documentary featured at Northwestern, but I wanted to start off celebrating Princess Diana's visit there because this was like the pinnacle of her post royal family life, where she branched off independently, formally independently of that household. I mean, we're talking 1996, and this was a year before she died tragically in that tunnel in Paris. Well, People magazine covered it. I mean, a newly divorced Princess Diana died while Chicago, putting aside her bitter divorce, a radiant princess lights up the Windy City. I mean, it makes me kind of sad for a lot of reasons, and mostly because this is the life that Princess Diana would have had after leaving that dreaded family. Um, but I'm sorry, that institution. I'm just going to say the institution, and then you can lump in individuals where necessary. But that's the life that was likely to happen for her. Is that she would have been this global, and well, she already was a global ambassador, but she would have, carried that so much further. And yeah, I'm looking at is this the, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, the black and white photos there on the right side, they are so small and tight. Um, the words, I can barely see them even when I expand it here on my PC. So I would love to share some of what is being said there, but I just have to tell you, it was quite the big event, and I think anybody who was involved with that visit will likely never forget it. Even the hotel where Princess Diana stayed had an anniversary, celebration of the visit to the Drake Hotel in Chicago, which is also where Queen Elizabeth stayed back in the 1950s when she made a trip to Chicago. Okay, let's see here. And then take a look on the left side. There's Princess Diana. Now, Northwestern, I believe they have an Evanston campus is their main campus, and then they have a downtown campus. I'm thinking that this was probably in downtown Chicago because that is where the monument, or well, the commemorative plaque is located. And there is Princess Diana in her Versace gown dancing with Phil Donahue at Chicago's Film Museum, which is where the very iconic photo of Princess Diana walking up those steps right there in the center. There's quite a big crowd behind her. And yeah, I think I cut off Beeman. He's on her right side in the middle photo. But and then also you can't see it, but there is a Rolls Royce that was on loan for Diana's use during the visit to Chicago, which was later auctioned, and today it is in a museum somewhere. So okay, so yes, and then there's Beeman right there on the left. That is the president. Well, he was the president of Northwestern University, and I got to tell you a little story about that. He asked Diana if she would wear. No, actually, when she arrived at the Field Museum, which is this beautiful, like Greek revival style building, your typical, museum building with the big columns and such. Anyway, when she arrived for the event, he asked her, "Did you wear purple for Northwestern?" And she just smiled at him. She didn't answer. She just gave him a smile. And then there on the right is Princess Diana. Look at all the people surrounding the hotel there just to get a glimpse of the People's Princess entering the Drake Hotel. And this is one of the photos that was on display when, actually, I'm pretty sure it's on permanent display at the hotel. It was a big occasion. And so she really wowed the people. I just noticed, I think those shoes match. I don't know what kind of shoes they are, but looks like she had them in purple and she had a pair in white. Okay, never noticed that before. All right, so I'm going to look at a couple of comments before I get into that and see what you guys are saying right now. So, my aunt has a white dress exactly like Diana's purple, except hers wasn't Versace. She had the same frame like Princess back then. Oh, interesting. Thanks for sharing that with us. Thriving with the Sussexes. And Diane Hawkins says, thanks, Baron, for pointing out what a crowd looks like. Very much unlike the Waitrose crowd of four waiting for the arrival of her son, Lord Will Peggingmore. Lord Will Peggingmore and wife Mumbles. Thank you, Diane. You never disappoint. You know that. Judy Rigo says, oh, that she's just saying hi to everybody, right? Okay. So I'm scrolling back a little bit. Let me see. She was coming into her own strength at the time of her death, What she would have done would have been amazing. Joyce Vos, I concur. I agree. Tenfold, I agree. Okay, Sharon Davis wants to say hello, you guys. Okay, I'm scrolling back. All right. All right. Okay, sister wants to say hello to a few people. So I think that was it for the comments about Diana. Going back a little further. Okay. Let me see. This has to be the most informative documentary that that I've seen rather, in some time that did not use talking heads. Oh, Joyce Voss, how did I miss that? Yes, I didn't see that old bug ad. What's her name? Although she was in the production of it. You know who I'm talking about, that one royal reporter. And oh, let me see who else. I didn't see any of those people. Thank God. I didn't even notice that. I guess I was so into it. And Joyce, I'm so glad because when I see those people, it just takes all the oxygen out of the room. I can't stand them. They just make me sick. Do you hear me? Sick. They make me so sick. I'm so glad. Thank you for pointing that out. No wonder I was able to get through it because you don't know how many times I have started a documentary and I will see. I don't even want to say her name, but I will see this person and I'm done. Um, Seriously, when I see this person, I'm done. I'm done. There's quite a few of them, but that's one of them. When I see that person or that Ingrid with, oh my God, all those, they all look like some kind of freaky puppet show when you see them. When I see them, I'm done. So thank you for pointing that out, Joyce. I didn't even notice it. And thank goodness, because I didn't notice it means that I wasn't stressed out with the idea that I might see them. So thank you. You have been helpful. But yeah, yes, excellent. Thank you so much. Okay, gonna do a deep scroll in the other direction. Okay. Rosalind Getwood says they let the people that were commenting on how they were really feeling about Diana at the time. Yeah, and you know what? They were very fair about it, good and bad. I mean, it wasn't all favorable for Diana, but at least it was fair. As our Duchess of Sussex, Princess Meghan would say, I didn't know that what did she say? I didn't think it would be easy, but I at least thought it would be fair. So yeah, at least it was fair. Okay. Okay. So let me look at my notes. Okay. You guys, now as you know, Afro Annie, Afro Annie is a little characterization of the actual Princess Anne that I have used for fun, just for the sport of it. And so we're kind of used to having a good laugh whenever we see Afro Annie, right? Did you guys hear? And spoiler alert, you guys, spoiler alert. Did you guys hear? And I'll try to say this where I won't give away the whole thing. But did you guys hear her reaction to the birth of William? Did you guys hear that? Oh my God. I was like, what are you doing? What are you, what? What are you doing? What is that about? I couldn't believe it. It was so I mean, I know she has a bit of a sharp tongue. I know that she could be a bit too much like Philip, but seriously? Yes, I saw that. I was like, are you effing kidding me? Okay, you guys, turn the sound down for at least 30 seconds because I'm gonna quote it. So starting now. Okay, when she was told while she was visiting Arizona, did you hear about Diana? No. Did you? Or something like that. She said very, and then he said that Diana had a baby boy. Oh, and I mean, she was just so flippant about it. She was so flippant about it. I couldn't believe it. And the Queen Mother, she wasn't much better with them raggedy, jagged yellow teeth of hers. She wasn't much better. I was like, these people are monsters. They are absolute monsters. I couldn't believe the very flippant, negative nastiness of it. I couldn't believe it. And then, of course, Charles, as before mentioned, Charles, after the birth, was it after the birth of Harry? I think it was after Harry's birth. Charles went to Kensington Palace, and it seems like he did a Wonder Woman, spun around, and next thing you know, he's all dressed up for polo. That was astounding. I mean, and the commentator at the time was just like most most married men could not get away with that. Oh man. Oh wow. I mean that though if it wasn't for this documentary, we would have never seen that. It would have just been lost in time. Y'all don't remember Annie is a real witch. She did not like Princess Diana, and she did act like she didn't know Diana was pregnant, but she did. Well, of course. I mean, it was a matter of state that Diana was pregnant. Oh man, that reaction though, that reaction. You know what? I'm looking at my notes wrong. Let me see. Am I on the wrong one? Where did I start? Uh okay, I'm missing something here. Where was it? Oh, you know what? Let me go back to this one. I started on a different side. I thought that was the first side. Okay. Father, uncle, let me see. Okay, they met when Diana was 16, right? They met when Diana was 16. Charles was actually there to date Diana's sister, right? And okay, let me go back. No, I don't want to do that one either. Anyway, Charles was there to see Diana's sister. Diana was 16. And then, of course, there was the talk amongst the family, let's get this virgin child prepared. Lorna, yeah, it is a bit rubbery, right? Oh man. But yeah, let's get this potato head was groomed. Oh man. Well, thank you for your comment. So Diana was 16. She got married when she was 19. And this is what really made me cringe. The father and Uncle Lord, what is it, Thromoy or whatever, other and others vouched for her virginity and that she was sweet, kind, nice, and shy. They vouched for her virginity. I mean, I'm not surprised that happened, given the fact that, she's married. The whole point of it was that they wanted someone who did not have a past. Um, so yeah, I get that. But still, that a commentator on television back in the 1980s and what was supposed to be so-called modern times commented on the fact that she was a virgin. It was confirmed that she was a virgin, which leads me to believe that there must have been a doctor's examination to make sure that yes, she could bear children. And given the situation, again, I understand, but it just seems like such a violation. Oh, what did they put that girl through? Yes, let me take a sip of my coffee. I don't know if I'm gonna get through this. You guys, I'm just gonna try to keep moving so I don't have to dwell and think about these things so much. But oh, and then of course the one woman who said that she was the biggest thing since Farrah Fawcett. Okay, okay, pop culture, Farrah Fawcett, celebrity. All right, I get all that. I get all that. Okay, let me take a break from my list. Okay, Princess Diana editors admit golf over death. Let's see, by Andrew Pierce. This was written in 2007. Okay, so obviously August 2007, they were reflecting about the 10 years since Princess Diana died mysteriously in that tunnel in Paris. Editors of the three biggest selling tabloid newspapers at the time of the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, have disclosed for the first time own share of guilt, their own share of guilt rather, over the accident that killed her. The editors of The Sun, The Daily Mirror, and the News of the World have conceded that they have helped create an atmosphere in which the paparazzi who were chasing Diana when her car crashed in Paris underpass were out of control. A big Diana story could add 150,000 sales, so we were all responsible. Now, you guys remember, for reference, there was no internet at that time. There wasn't, what we have today. So they literally were depending on physical sales of newspapers and not like today. Hello, Rosalind. You say, just like Meghan, Diana was betrayed by her family as well as the royal family. Somebody should have stopped that marriage. She was checked by a medical doctor. Yes, that is true. A big Diana, I bet you they didn't care whether Meghan was able to have kids. I'm sure they didn't care about her. As a matter of fact, as we know, there was probably a conspiracy to drag out the nuptials to make sure that there were never any children um, with the Sussexes. I believe that, as the story goes, that William said, "Oh, he needs to wait. Don't rush. Give it 10 years, like I did Mumbles." So whether or not that was truly said by William is close enough for me. I can't stand that punk. A big Diana story could add up to 150,000 sales, so we were all responsible. The Sunday Mirror bought the paparazzi pictures published 3 weeks before the princess's death, which first showed the seriousness of the liaison with Dodi Fayed and encouraged the Paris chase. Well, okay, let me take that away and I will share. Uh, okay, this slide. So there on the boat, you can see Princess Diana hanging on the diving board. I don't want to get too far ahead with these, so let me get back out of that. I know I have a picture of her and Dodi, but I don't want to. Oh, right there. There it is. Oh, all right. Sundance, The Princess is a definitive Princess Diana documentary, a portrait of the people's princess told strictly through the archival clips, doubles as an indictment on the media that made and broke her, and is the runaway highlights of the festival's opening night. So there's Dodi and Diana there on the photo on the right. There's a side by side photo of him with the yellow jacket on, looking like Miami Vice, and then of course him walking behind her. Now, apparently, from the documentary, we found out that Dodi Al Fayed was actually engaged to another woman in California, and ironically, the woman had a sapphire and diamond ring. Did you guys notice the sapphire and diamond ring? It was round shape and not oval shape like Princess Diana's engagement ring, but she sat there with Gloria Allred, who, of course, whenever a guy see her, he might as well just get out the checkbook because you gonna pay. But he was sitting there with Gloria Allred. So I'm sorry, she was sitting there with Gloria Allred. And it's just so ironic as though Dodi had designs already to be with Diana. Yes, the ring was similar. Diana's is oval in shape, and the ring that this young woman was wearing was actually a circular ring. So, round sapphire with a circle of diamonds. So, yeah, very similar. Interesting little tidbit, but I don't know if it is really that important to the story, but I did notice that. So, let me get back out of here and go back to where I was before. There we are. Then there on the right, Princess Diana forever. In her own words, the press is ferocious. It forgives nothing, it only hunts for mistakes. Every intention is twisted, every gesture criticized. I believe that abroad it is different. I'm welcomed with kindness. I'm taken for what I am without prior judgment, without looking for blunders in Britain. It's the opposite. And I believe that in my position, anyone sane would have left a long time ago. Well, that is supposed to be Diana's own words. It is, and I got this from Twitter, and I suppose there is a web page site or whatever, Princess Diana Forever. If you guys want to check it out, I'm not even sure. It looks like it's on Instagram. I think that looks like an Instagram post. But yeah, so that was supposedly Diana's own words. Maybe it is. I won't confirm or deny it because I don't know exactly where it comes from, but it sounds accurate to me. Okay. All right. So back to my list. Riots as a backdrop of the wedding. Well, I didn't realize, back in 1981, I was still in school. So, I wasn't paying that much attention to it. But I did wake up early in the morning. You guys know I still have the wedding on a VHS cassette. I literally have the royal wedding on a VHS cassette that I recorded back in 1981. I watched ABC, so I believe it was Peter Jennings and Barbara Walters. But yeah, I still have that. So um, such was my interest in the royal family. And it all started with all of the fuss about this royal wedding and that it was going to be the wedding of the century. And because of the big buildup, I could not wait to watch it. So there I was, up early in the morning, watching the wedding. And I recorded it on a VHS, which I still have. So that is how my interest in the British royal family started. It was because of Princess Diana. I heard that. How dare you? How dare you? Oh. VHS, well, it wasn't beta. There was that competition between VHS and beta, but and I will tell you this much: I have given up my 8-track cassettes. I used to have an 8-track cassette player too. Thank you so much for that. I needed to take it down a peg or two. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. What is VHS? Woo! I tell you, that was lovely. Okay, thank you for that. All right. So yeah, I remember the Margaret Thatcher years. I remember the contentious relationship between Margaret Thatcher and the unions. I remember that there was a supposed implied jealousy or competition between Margaret Thatcher. I remember the Falkland Island War like it was yesterday. I literally tracked the war on television like the big nerd I am. And it was all very interesting. So, you know, at that time, I really got deep into this Anglophile lifestyle where I was just consuming all things British. And of course, you guys know my favorite British movie, of course, To Sir With Love. I've probably watched it a gazillion times. I have it on VHS, I have it on DVD. I even had the soundtrack on cassette. I've had the soundtrack on LP, um, and so on and so forth. So, big favorite movie of mine. Um, and full disclosure, Lulu and I share the same birthday. Lulu, as well as Bum Bum Bum, Anna Wintour. We all share the same birthday. And not to scare anybody, but Charles Bronson too. So just saying, I'm just saying. We all share the same birthday. Uh okay, so back to my list. Next on the list is no, she family. Let me see. Oh yeah. Okay. So that interesting statement that one of the commentators or had made during the on the documentary is the fact that now that she's almost part of the family, meaning that she wasn't married yet, but she's in the family way. At this point, you know what? These are grossly out of order. I do apologize for that. Let me go here. I think this is better. So now that she's almost in the family, the big telephoto lenses are going to stop. That will be a thing of the past. Oh, how did he underestimate that one? How in the world did he underestimate that one? Hello, Dorothy Ross. Live in the UK, and it was indeed a great documentary. Just saying. Amen to that. I thought it was wonderful. Okay. Harry was so happy when Archie arrived, and he didn't care what they said. He had his family. Yes. Princess Diana's brother Charles Spencer is just as evil as the royal family, as that royal family rather. I don't have any use for him. She shared the blame, or he shares the blame for her death, right? You know what? You know what? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. I heard this out of his mouth. Charles Spencer said that Diana asked to come home. She begged to come home to escape the paparazzi, and he refused. She didn't even have to stay in the main house. They have cottages on the estate. He refused. Nope, we don't want that attention here. And the other, of course, was his introduction to Martin Bashir. Okay, I've heard him say you could draw a line between me introducing my sister to Martin Bashir, whatever, and her death. He said that out of his own mouth, right? This is the one who chastised the queen in front of the whole country, verbally chastised her, but yet he was the one who threw his sister under the bus, so to speak. Yes, Patricia Russellage. She was in Rutledge, rather. She played one of the school teachers in To Sir with Love. I did. Was watching it one day, and I'm like, "Oh, Mrs. Bucket, that's okay. Mind the road, Richard. I believe the queen is untouchable. That is why she gets away with everything. Apparently, the queen is the only person on earth that can never be prosecuted for a crime. Well, at least not in the United Kingdom, and most likely not any place. I mean, she would always have diplomatic immunity wherever she goes. She would always. She is like the number one diplomat for the United Kingdom. So, the Queen does not have a driver's license because it would be considered redundant to issue a driver's license since it's in her name. The Queen does not have to appear in court because it she could never bear witness to anything because she is immune from the courts. Again, it would be redundant because the courts are in her name. So, yes, basically, the queen is immune to every legal procedure on earth. And pretty soon, guess who else is going to be the same way? Charles, old rubber mouth Charles, will have that same immunity. And even scarier, one of the most temperamental, ignorant, and I say probably mentally ill and suffering from a personality disorder, Willie, he will also someday have that same blanket immunity. And this is why I say, you guys, when you say they don't need titles, they don't deserve titles, they don't need titles. Um, Harry and Meghan have both worked in the, shall we say, the position of a diplomat for the United Kingdom. And so his legal status in other places in the world, not to mention the United States, I would have to wonder about that. I would really have to wonder. I don't think we'll ever find out how much immunity they have to certain things, but even though they stepped back, there is still a legal connection as a member of the royal family when they are abroad to other countries. I don't know exactly what they are, but I just believe that that is the case. But we'll probably never find out one way or the other. Okay, but I don't think it's anything like the Queen's blanket immunity. Not at all. Let me see. Wow. So if the Queen or King of England was a serial killer, would she get away with it even when the evidence is obvious? Yes, thriving with the Sussexes. That's exactly what it means. That means that she cannot be prosecuted. But everything, the army, the air force, the church, everything is in the sovereign's name. The sovereign is the head of all that stuff. So it would be implausible, redundant, unfeasible to ever try to hold her accountable for anything. Although, when Princess Anne's dog bit somebody, she had to go to court. She had to go to court. But if the queen was to be called as a witness, they would have to throw it out of court because the queen could never be brought to witness in the queen's court. So, as long as the queen stays out of it, as long as they don't bring her name into it, then the case could proceed. And also, I think it is a law that anyone in the company of the sovereign cannot be arrested. I repeat, anyone who is in the company of the sovereign cannot be arrested. Yeah, you are considered to be untouchable if you are in the United Kingdom and you are in the same room with her. I believe that is a law. Okay. Uh Let me see here. Just like the colonizers in the US, the UK colonizers are receiving the same karma. They might not get it in the court, but they are getting it from the public. They are losing ground. Yes, the power dynamic of the world is changing. So I will say to Governor Greg Abbott, keep putting those future Democrats on the buses, that is, and keep shipping them across the country. Don't try to put them back on the other side of the border. Just keep putting those future Democratic voters on the bus and send them into the country. I mean, it makes sense. We do need new workers for the workforce. So I say keep them coming. If you guys are within the range of my voice and you're on the border right now, we need you. Vote Democrat. Okay, let me get back to my list. Let me see. First time in 300 years that an heir to the throne married an English woman. So, for the first time in 300 years, Princess Diana was the first royal bride of the heir to the throne to marry an English, or to be married to the, well, you know what I mean. So, before that, I think you'd have to go back way past. I think once those Hanoverians got there, the Hanoverians kept marrying their German cousins or something like that, like Princess Alexandra of Queen Alexandra of Teck or whatever she was. She wasn't British. I mean, she was related to the family, but I don't think she was British. Or was it Mary of Teck? Whatever it is. I love that name, Teck. Just sounds like a disco queen. Mary Teck. Ladies and gentlemen, Mary Teck. Whoop, whoop. Hey, whoop, whoop. Mary Teck. Kind of sound like a drag queen, don't it? Mary Teck. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, with that, let me just say that that was one of those factoids that I heard over and over in 1981 when I watched the wedding. They kept saying that this is the first time that a English woman has been married into that family for the heir to the throne. Okay, next on the list. Oh yes, look at the photo there. Let me see. Let me see. Is this one? This one? Nope. Uh, Look at the photo on the bottom left. The bottom left photo. Somewhere, I believe, just over Diana's shoulder. I believe that that is what is his name? Andrew Parker Bowles. So Camilla Parker Bowles' um, husband at the time was the lead escort for the carriage ride to and from the St. Paul's Cathedral, right? Peter Parker Bowles. Wait, yeah. I'm sorry, Andrew. Why did I say I'm thinking Spider Man? Lord have mercy. Andrew Parker Bowles led the escort in the carriage ride. He was one of those guys with the silver breastplate and the horse tail on his head. He was one of those people. He was the lead escort. And if you look at the photo in the upper right, that red circle, that is Diana and Charles both looking to their right to see that woman as they exit the St. Paul's Cathedral. That is Camilla wearing white to Diana's wedding. That is Camilla, Charles's lover, Charles's long-term lover, where in the red circle, and that is what Diana was looking at, realizing that, oh my God, there she is. There she is. There's Farrah Fawcett Minor. Yeah, you could never call her Farrah Fawcett Majors. Farrah Fawcett Minor. There's Farrah Fawcett Minor. I know Faith Miller listened to me, Peter Parker Bowles. Oh man. Okay, so back to my list. And you know, guys, they say it is a great honor to lay down your wife for your country. So Andrew Parker Bowles did his duty by laying, some people will lay down their life for the king. Well, he laid down his wife for the king. You guys never heard that before? He laid down his wife for the king. Okay, I didn't say it was funny. I was just saying it. But okay, never mind. Never mind. All right. Next on the list, Charles and Diana stayed with. Oh yeah, Charles and Diana stayed with Andrew Parker Bowles and Farrah Fawcett Minor on two occasions prior to the wedding. Two occasions prior to the wedding, they stayed at the Peter Parker Bowles, Andrew Parker Bowles house um, with Camilla there with Farrah Fawcett Minor. All right. Turn over the list. All right. So then Princess Anne, I covered that. Charles leaving 5 minutes after the baby got home. The Queen Mother. The Queen Mother. The Queen Mother, you would think the first thing she wants to do is to see her great grandchild. The Queen Mother went to the racetrack. Child, she couldn't be bothered. She went to go bet on some horses. And I don't mean Camilla. She actually went to go and bet on horses rather than going to see her first great grandchild. I bet you she didn't have a dental appointment. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And Diana's trip to Australia. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys picked up on that one. When Diana went to Australia, the mood at the time for republicanism, or to turn into a republic rather than a to go on and continue being part of the Commonwealth and having the Queen as head of state. Um, okay, let me explain it to you like this. You guys, the United States is considered a democracy, right? But this is a representatory republic. In the republic for which it stands, right? We live in a republic. In a republic, you do have representatives. So the United States is a representative republic. And so when you hear the British people say that I'm a Republican, it's because they want a representatory republic with an elected head of state. They don't want that sovereign stuff anymore. So the term Republican or the Republican Party, for in the United States, that's just the name of the party, just like the Democrats. We are in a democratic country, but it's also a republic. It is considered a republic. So that is why you hear the British people say, well, I'm a Republican. It doesn't mean that they're conservative. It means that they want their country to transcend from being transition from being a sovereignty to a representatory republic with an elected head of state and none of those hereditary lords in the upper chamber, the upper house of parliament. So there, that is what that means. Okay, clear, clear. Uh, oh yeah, they're all a bunch of pigs. They are all pigs. Okay. So anyway, Diana trip to Australia took them from being on the brink of becoming a republic to going right back to where they were even further. 30% of the people wanted to ditch the queen at the time. And we're talking about when Diana went to Australia. 30% of the people wanted to ditch the queen, but 80% of the people, I'm sorry, 20%. No, no, no. I think it was 30/70 or was it 20/80? Anyway, the majority of the people wanted to stay with the monarchy rather than to become a republic. So that is the strength of Princess Diana's um, very popular visit to Australia, and one of the reasons why Charles literally was falling apart because he hated the idea that she was so popular. And he, of course, y'all heard the little joke that he told. It would have been better if I would have had two wives. That way we could have one on either side of the street, and I just walk down the middle of the street and direct the whole operation. Oh, that was the height of comedy, Chuck. That was the height of dry wit, the very height of dry wit and a lack of comedic skills. But it was supposed to be such a big joke because he said it and people politely laughed. But Diana understood exactly what he was trying to say. He'd rather have that emotional support creature. Okay, let me not start on that. So, a couple of comments, anybody? Yes, please don't forget to hit the like button. Please hit that like button. Okay, I remember that her face realized so vividly. I remember feeling sorry for her then and now. Yes, thank you so much for your comments. Let me see. Agreed. The same happened to Hansberry's husband, escorting that bald potato head and his sidekick. Yeah, that, of course, would be when Charles walked in. I'm sorry, not Charles, but William walked into the Parliament recently when he sat with his father for the opening of Parliament. Well, the guy walking up the steps, you remember that was Rose Henberry's husband. So I'm not going to dig out the photo; it's take too long. But okay, um, okay. The 50-50 thing. There's people. Oh yeah, that thing about the people being in the camera and trapped, that is still haunting. But of course you can hear that on the preview or see that on the preview. Determined um determined oh yeah. And then of course there was that weird thing where somebody had declared that Diana was determined, domineering, and yeah, determined and domineering. That weird thing. I remember hearing that and I was like, gosh, I never heard that before. Dry wit. The word is dry. Dry wit, dry humor, dry wit. Oh man, thank you for that. Okay. Next. Of course, the AIDS hospital. You guys remember this. I'm gonna let me go back and make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so let me just go with this one right here. These are some of those competing headlines in the tabloids. Charles wins, Diana loses, the final betrayal. Queen strips Diana of her HRH. Now she should curtsy to her own children. I mean, what is it about the tabloids? And what is it about the people that read those tabloids that you can day after day watch a woman humiliated and literally suffering through character assassination, and you're okay with that? That's entertainment. I don't get that. I don't get that. That this very public institution that Diana married into, and then these tabloids day after day. You got these like competing headlines on the newsstand, um, that she should curtsy to her own children, deceitful and underhanded. Has she gone nuts? Dynamite? Wow. Okay. Okay. It is what it is. The sad thing is when they accused her that her husband did not try to defend her as not being overbearing. No, no, Charles does not defend anybody in his life. He doesn't defend anyone. And during that period of time when everybody in the country hated Camilla, it took him a month of Sundays to say, "Oh, perhaps she needs security." Not to defend Camilla, of course, but just as a prime example of how idle minded he is, that this person that you're having these romantic phone calls and you're plotting and scheming, and it took, quite a few death threats before you decide, perhaps she needs security. Duh. He doesn't defend anyone. He doesn't protect Harry. He's not protecting Harry's family. He doesn't protect anybody in his life. And of course, as I've said so many times, just coincidentally, he went to go and see his mother. Having been around a bunch of people, he went to go and visit a 95, 96-year-old woman, probably did not wear a face mask. And then days later, he says, "Oh, I think I have the pandemic." And then suddenly she's on the watch for the pandemic, only for them to say, "Oh, there was some type of outbreak at Windsor Castle." Charles, oh, excuse me, these allergies. Well, where could she have possibly picked up the Charles? Where could she have possibly picked up the pandemic? Yeah, Charles. You know what I mean? So he doesn't care. He doesn't protect anyone. I really got to take some for these allergies. All right. So that was that. Let me go back. I did that. We covered that. Anything else from that? Oh yeah, let's take a look at that middle photo. That was in the documentary when Charles received that medal or whatever it was from Diana, and then he went to give her a kiss on the cheek, and she was like, "Nah, have a little lock of hair, will you? Yeah, sniff my hair, but you're not putting your lips on me, especially when you've been fooling around with that emotional support person. No, kiss Farrah Fawcett Minor, but you ain't putting your lips on me, Chucky." So okay, and then there's anything else from this? Nope, I think we're good. Well, of course, I thought she was a very jolly 16-year-old. Oh, cringe, cringe, cringe. I thought she was a very jolly 16-year-old. Well, when I met her, I just thought she was a jolly 16-year-old. Lord have mercy. I love when people say the quiet things out loud. I thought she was a jolly 16-year-old. And then, of course, that look she had when they asked, so are you in love? Of course. Whatever love is. Oh, gosh. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so then this was the big moment for Diana, her first really big moment, um, where she showed, well, should I say, after Australia and a few other occasions, this was another of many big moments for her, where she opened up the HIV ward at the hospital there. Well, that was 1987. Let's see, the first cases of AIDS were confirmed in 1981. They had a name for it by 83, I think. And by 1987, April 9th, 1987, they opened up this ward at the hospital. And you guys, I have to say, one of the things that makes me so proud is that Diana had all the information that morning when she went to visit that hospital. And the big question at the time, if you've ever seen a documentary about that, was whether or not she was going to wear gloves, whether or not she was going to get close, whether or not she's going to put on, the smock or the coat or whatever. Diana walked in and she was warm, embracing of people, and it was the first time that people realized we don't have to be afraid of this. It is nothing to be afraid of. Now, there were still people who were still paranoid and terrified, but this gentleman with the curly hair, he's actually a nurse himself, and he was infected early on. And yes, few years later, I think he actually died himself, but he was a nurse, and you could see the tears in his eyes, the tears of relief that she wasn't going to be all standoffish, the tears of relief that she didn't wear gloves. And it was even said in one of the documentaries that I've watched that the Queen asked Diana, "Why would you go and visit those people?" And Diana, said because they need the acceptance, they need the love. But it was like so baffling. Was that on The Crown as well, where the Queen was supposedly so baffled by the idea that she would even bother? But you guys, just for reference, at this point in Diana's history, she's been friends with Elton John. She's been friends with George Michaels. They even said that Princess Diana would even dress as a very tall, geeky young man and go out to the clubs and nobody knew who she was. They said she would get very androgynous and put on a man's suit and that she would go out and hit the clubs. She actually would go out and have fun. Um, Remember, Charles, what, 12, 13 years her senior. Let's not forget how much older Charles was on their wedding day. She's 19 and he's what, 31, 32. So there was this big difference in their ages. And so Diana wanted to have fun and Charles did not. So there she had friends. That's what I'm trying to say, is that she had friends. And so at this point, of course, she wanted to give something back to a community that gave her so much. And there she is touching his hand. That was the very first touch right there on the left side. And that iconic moment. Now, I believe that the guy on the right side, or perhaps it was a guy on the left side, either one of them, and I don't remember which one, up until that point, he had not had any contact with his family. He had been estranged from his family because of the stigma of HIV/AIDS. He had been estranged from the family. And I think it's the guy on the right side. Maybe. No, I'm sorry, the guy on the left side. It was the guy on the left side. And so, up until that point, there had been no contact with the family. They totally rejected him. And because of Princess Diana, the family was able to see him before he died. They decided that if the Princess of Wales could cross that barrier, then they would do it themselves. So that was like a gift that she gave a lot of people, more people than we would probably ever know of. But yeah, that was like one of those huge, huge moments for her. Was when she opened that clinic. Okay, any comments? Charles never really had friends. He doesn't seem to even now. He wanted to old man paint watercolor on honeymoon, while Diana expected something a bit less. Um, well, okay, the honeymoon, a less geriatric Diane Hawkins. Now, it is said that Princess Diana on the Britannia, remember they were on the Britannia for their honeymoon. When they were on the Britannia, Diana would go and hang out with the people in the kitchen. She'd go down. I mean, she was all over the boat trying to find somebody to talk to because Charles was being an old man. I mean, Charles is an old soul. And so, Church Nelly, be prepared to roll your eyes because guess where I've been? The Britannia. I actually went on board the Britannia for the little museum that they have, and you can see the stateroom. So it's interesting because you get like a layout of the royal yacht, the stateroom and all that kind of stuff. So you get a chance to see exactly how things were, and you can see exactly the accommodations they had on their honeymoon. And so it was all very interesting. I'll just say that it was very interesting. But oh yeah, let's not forget Liz Taylor. Yes, let's Robin Dennis. We cannot forget Liz Taylor. Um, it wasn't just one person, Liz Taylor as well. You're absolutely right. Liz Taylor raised more money than any celebrity. If you adjust for inflation, I will say right off the top of my head, I believe that Liz Taylor raised more money for AIDS prevention, AIDS research, and such than any other person, living or dead. So thank you for that comment. Don't want to forget Lizzie. And of course, on the left side is that famous speech where Diana said, "Okay, I'm just a citizen. I'm cutting back on my public appearances. Y'all leave me alone, okay? Please." And then that house that you see, that is Althorpe. That is the ancestral birthplace of the Spencer family. Now, that is the main house, and that is where Diana spent a lot of time growing up, right there on the family estate. And there are also several cottages. As a matter of fact, there's another large house nearby that is part of the estate. I don't think anybody actually lives in the main house anymore, but there is a cottage nearby, and that is where the Earl Spencer, Charles Spencer, lives today. Okay, you guys, how we doing so far? Don't forget to hit that like button. Let me see. Dropped off the baby, went to polo. Okay, I think I'm through with my list. Yeah, that was one. The other one is they said Charles always lived like a bachelor and made very few concessions for a married man. Played polo as Camilla watched. And then, of course, there was the Taj Mahal where Princess Diana just sat by herself, and people were just like, "What's she doing?" And she was just taking it all in. And Charles said, and they didn't mention this in the documentary, but I have heard it before, that Charles had promised Diana that he would take her to the Taj Mahal. Now, what they didn't mention in this particular documentary is that Charles had actually went on this long trip before the wedding. Was he gone for like 2 weeks or whatever it was? He was gone for a long time, and India was one of the places he went. And you remember in the documentary, you saw him at the Taj Mahal. Well, I don't think they mentioned this in the documentary, but there was a promise to her after the wedding that he would take her to India and they would go to the Taj Mahal. But what you did see in the documentary is the fact that once they hit the ground in India, they went separate directions. They spent very little time talking to each other, with each other, doing any royal visits with each other. And when they were together, they looked right past each other and they didn't share any type of communication. It almost reminds me of those people. It reminds me of those people for some reason where they tend to look past each other. They look away from each other. They don't seem to have much by way of contact with each other. They do a few superficial little this and that's every so often, but for the most part, they are a world apart. And then there is the rumor that they don't even live together. Speculation, rumor, whatever, that they don't even live together anymore. And that was the whole point of this big move to the Adelaide cottage, is so that they can both be close to the kids and not necessarily have to be under the same roof. Okay, you guys, how we doing so far? Uh, that was a poignant picture of Diana sitting on board with the seagull hovering over her. Yeah. Um, you know what? That monument at the Harrods department store, isn't there like a bird swooping over Dodi and Diana at the? I have a photo of that somewhere, but I think it includes a bird swooping over. Okay, I believe if Charles wasn't forced to produce heir, he would have never married anyone. He would have just slept around until she leaves her husband. It's that deception that Diana ang- that angered me the most. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your comment. Let me see here. And then the commentator mentioned the fact that you had Camilla. Um, I forget how he put it, but he said something about Diana dressing the way Charles should want, and Camilla trying to something like that. He said, I can't remember the exact words, but I remember that part. And then, of course, they mentioned the dancing with Travolta. And that little caption down there, recollections may vary. Well, that was a video I had did some time ago, the firm rewriting history. And then over there, you can see more of the White House dancing. There's Reagan and Nancy in the background, I think. And on the right, there's Diana visiting yet another AIDS patient. And the pink dress, I believe that is in Chicago. And there's Andrew Morton. There is, of course, um, Martin Bashir, the famous panorama interview. When I saw that symbol for the panorama interview, I was like, oh, that just, oh man, that was crazy. And then, of course, there is Harry walking in Diana's footsteps. And did you guys notice in the documentary how while she was, I believe she was there in, what country was that? Was that Rwanda? No. What country was that with the landmines, the Halo Trust and everything? I forget which country that is. Well, anyway, while she was there, no, it wasn't Rwanda. It was some other country. I can't remember the name of it. But while she was there, that was when they said that they were going to stop the what do you call it? The land the British government would no longer allow for the manufacture and sales of any ordnance that would, anyway, they meant landmines. So Angola, thank you so much, Rosa. Yeah, that they were going to stop. Oh, a lot of you guys got that. I see that. Nariz, okay, Sistren, and okay, cool. Thank you. And so the bottom left picture, that dirt road, that pothole, big worn out road there with the big potholes, those are actually craters from landmines, right? That is a shopping district today. That is a thriving shopping district. That is the high street in that particular community in Angola. Frederica, I haven't seen you for quite some time. Let me see, didn't back down to the administration. So they let her go, but she made such an impact in the short time she was in office. Who is that? S.G. Edgar. Is it Edders? I don't know who that is. Okay. All right. So, and there you see on the upper left, there's Diana with that young woman who she was um, brushing her cheek there, holding her crutch. And if you remember in the documentary, Diana was asking, how long does it take for her to get fitted for her prosthetic or prostheses? And she was just shaking her head with dismay when they were saying that it was going to take so many months. And there she is, all grown up, and Harry is kneeling right there talking to her. So, again, walking in his mother's footsteps. And there on the right is another image of Diana, and there's a young woman with the red shoe on. And then, of course, at the bottom is a photo of a hostel that opened in London. So Diana opened the hostel, and years later, there is Harry on that same staircase. They're doing like a little Brady Bunch thing there. Love that photo. Okay, you guys. President Nelson Mandela with Princess Diana, March 1997 in Cape Town, 5 months before Diana's death. And of course, that picture at the very top center, that's the note that Harry wrote for his mother. That is the one that absolutely destroyed me when I saw that. As I was watching the funeral on television, when I saw that note, I was wiped out. I could not, I was like sobbing uncontrollably. That was just like a punch in the gut for me. That gets me every time. Let me see. They're planning an accident in my car so Charles can marry again. Now that is haunting. I can't believe they actually ran that story, but they did. They went there. Okay. And that is Kensington Palace. If you guys have ever been there, then you can see that there's quite a distance. That golden gate in the rear of the photo, in the background, that is open where anyone can walk from point A to point B in this photo. And all of that was filled with like hundreds of thousands of flowers. I mean, that's like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of flowers right there. Not to put a dollar value on it, but to show you the outpouring of emotion that so many people just stopped any place that they could find flowers. They just picked them up and they took them to Kensington Palace. That appears to have been the case. Absolutely. Seems as though she kind of knew what was coming. Mr. Diana called it in the interview. She predicted her own death and called them out, just like Harry is doing now with his security situation. Yep, absolutely. Okay, you guys, I wasn't sure how to get through that, but I did. We did. It was quite emotional to watch that stuff yesterday, but I'm glad I did. I'm so glad I did because I learned a whole lot, and yeah, it was a lot to it. So I'm glad I did watch it. Let me see here. Yeah, I know, Carol Badu. It was I was actually out that night. I believe it was a Saturday, no, Monday night. It was Labor Day, wasn't it? Labor Day, and I was out. I think I was out clubbing or something like that. And when I got home, I remember the first phone call that I got was one of my closest friends telling me. I mean, actually, she didn't tell me. She screamed into the phone, "They killed her! They killed her!" I was like, "Who got killed? Who? What? They killed?" I mean, she was screaming to beat the band, and I wasn't sure what happened. And so, you know, after I was able to turn on the television, that's how I got caught up. But that's what I remember is the blood curdling screams into the phone that they killed her. They killed her. Yeah, that was my recollection from that night. That is how I remember it. Okay, you guys, it is happening again. I want to open up some more slides and oh man, this thing is not going to let me do it. So I am going to have to do it the open up another StreamYard so that I can get my other slides. So you're going to hear an echo, but this is the only way I can do it. Uh, but as usual, what do I say? Today, I feel like the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Oh man, I am getting too predictable. Hello. Okay, let me see. Don't worry, I'll get rid of the echo. Let me just do this to get the other slides. I knew things were going too well. Huh. Okay. Did that work? Let me see. Ah, it did work. Let me see. Okay, so I need to close one of these. That should take care of that echo. Thank you so much, Elaine Parker. Thank you for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Sunday to you. Okay, there's my other slides. All right, got it. Okay, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Let's see. So we're going to change topics. We're going to get away from the documentary at this point, but you can still, make comments. But going to change topics now. All right. So, just as I wrote in my column earlier today, despite being stripped of all royal patronages and military affiliations after paying out millions to the situation there, Prince Andrew personal protection remains an annual cost of $500,000 to the British taxpayers, or £300,000 to the British taxpayers. The decision was made by same committee that denied Prince Harry his family's automatic security when he is in the United Kingdom. Now, it is important to point out that Harry does not expect the taxpayers to pay for him in the United States. He can get proper protection in the United States. But what he does expect is for the taxpayers to give the logistical ability to security, which is only done by using, the Royal Protection Officers or the Met Police. That's the only way that Harry's security can have the same logistics as any other member of the firm. That's all he wants is a fair opportunity to protect his family as well as that vicious bowl of jello. His uncle Andrew is protected. Andrew gets that protection. So Harry wants that same protection for his family when they're in the United Kingdom. Harry wants to have his children experience his place of birth, his homeland. He's a prince of the realm, and he wants Archie and Lily to experience the life of Britain, of a British person. They have dual citizenship and all that kind of stuff. So Harry wants that for his kids. But in order to prevent that from happening, they have somehow put him beneath that low-life uncle of his, the one who gave that train wreck of an interview, the one who has brought so much shame upon the family. They always want to create this false equivalency that Harry and Meghan somehow are on the same level as this guy when he is like on the bottom rung of the ladder. But anyway, the Sussex squad is here with receipts, and so the British tabloid press, they can try it, but we're still going to call them out. We are going to call them out. All right, so let me get rid of that vicious bowl of jello. The safety of others should never be up for debate. The Duke of Sussex, whatever's behind that blue dot up there, Home Office may not see eye to eye. Oh, the Duke of Sussex and the Home Office may not see eye to eye, but there's only one acceptable. Oh Lord, I can't see that. Hold on. Solution to this fight, reinstate Harry's security at his own expense before it's too late. So we talked about that yesterday, that there have been many examples where people in that family have been able to, um, I'm sorry, people outside of the family have been able to pay for their own security. I shared that information yesterday. Let me see if I can find that slide. This one right here. Okay. Okay, where is it? Not him. Not him. Okay. I thought I had it here. I guess I don't. All right, let me try one more. I did talk about that yesterday, right? Right. So that is. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, maybe I talked about it the day before yesterday. Oh, maybe it was the day before yesterday. About it. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So only a fool would think the Queen doesn't have the power to correct this or that. Home Office isn't influenced by royal family in decision to deny Prince Harry security. Neither him nor Prince Andrew have royal duties, so why different treatment? Tell him, Shola. Okay, we saw that. Well, anyway, I had the examples here. Now I don't see what I don't know where I put it, but there was right there. There it is. There it is. So, thanks to the squad yesterday or day before yesterday, there were receipts. The Met has already been hired by celebrities. Try again, derangers. I tell you, the Sussex squad and them doggone receipts. Kate Moss, her wedding, they paid £10,000 for extra security, which people question why were there 35 officers there at this celebrity event, but they were. They didn't need 35, but the cost was paid by the wedding. And then, too, there's Tony Blair paid for his own private protection for an occasion, and the chief officer of the police force may provide it. Oh, yeah. And that is that lets you know right there. At the request of any person, special police services at any premises or in any locality in a police area for which the force is maintained, subject to payment to the F1 local police body of charges on such scale as may be determined by F2. That right there, posted by a squatty. One of the squatties pulled that receipt out that says um, that you can pay for police protection. You can pay for that. They'll let you know how much it costs. So Harry didn't just cut, and then the way that the what do you call it, the royal rodents, the way they try to say, oh, that's not possible, and the Met Police are not for hire. Yes, they are. They are for hire. Tony Blair's paid for them. Kate Moss has paid for them. Prince Harry, a prince of the blood, the prince of the realm, a real life Windsor, is denied the ability to pay for his own security. He shouldn't have to pay in the first place. I don't want him to pay. He shouldn't have to. You know what, y'all? I'm going to have to get really deep on this one. I'm going to have to get really deep. Really deep. They have forced my hand, so I'm going to have to get really deep on this one. Trigger alert. Trigger alert.
Mail online. The way it's been phrased within the Mail on Sunday and the Mail online is just that looking forward to the Queen's Diamond Jubilee celebrations in June. I mean, they are literally saying that if Harry and Meghan come, the media circus around them will distract from the Queen's celebrations. Well, who is driving the media circus around them? Step forward, the Mail online and the Mail on Sunday.
Exactly. And Angela has been saying that Harry says he wants security and he might be in danger. Oh, please, he's narcissistic. So I would like to draw the attention to an article that was in the Mirror in March last year, where under the heading, as Army, let me just read it out again so I get it right. Prince Harry amongst most at-risk royal as Army service makes him top terror target. And the journalists have interviewed a couple of years back somebody from the Taliban who said ever since he joined the army, they've been trying to get him. And then as an Afghan leader, Owari Masrullah, who said it's just Harry's luck that he's been managed to escape so far. And then they've interviewed a former SSL soldier, Bob Kraft, and this was on the 11th of March 2021, who said that Harry is clearly a target for kidnapping, terrorism, and a whole lot of threats, and will need protection for a very long time. But whatever you think he should or shouldn't, and this gets me upset.
Oh,
It's
Gertrude.
5 days. He risked his country for 10 years, and the Queen observed us for 70 years, and they can't give them 5 days peace. It's horrendous.
Gertrude, please. I'm sorry you feel so sort of emotional about it, and I can understand why this story might resonate with people, and certainly anybody who's had family difficulties. I'm sure you can feel or empathise with different characters in this story. Gertrude, I'd like to say, I mean, I take all your points, brilliant points, by the way, about how Harry is a target and has been a target for evil. But I'd like to think anyway that these are a family that they don't need our tears. They've got enough, whether it's Harry and Meghan, the Sussexes, or the rest of them over here. They've got enough. They don't need our tears as well, Gertrude. Thank you for the call. And I hope you have a better rest of the day.
Well, as Gertrude said, Harry has made these sacrifices, and yet the Queen has been on the throne for 70 years, and somehow she cannot find a way to protect her grandson. So, as I said, I know, Jackie, I know, trigger. I said it was going to trigger, and it did. And it is really, really, really upsetting. I know. But it just goes to show that there are people, even of Gertrude's generation, I'm going to assume that she's an older person, that understands what's at stake, that understands the sacrifices that Harry has made. And so while the tabloids try to convince us that everybody is out to get the Sussexes, everybody hates them, they're not popular, nobody loves them, they need not ever come back here again. That's what they hope. That's what they want us to believe. That is the image to the world that they're trying to convey, is that Harry has somehow betrayed his country by not being there for the pandemic, and he let the Queen down and all those kind of things. When you have people within the institution, within the royal household, actively plotting against him and are not concerned as to the safety of Harry, his wife, his children, they don't care. They positively don't care. And these are the same people, these are the same institutions, including the tabloids, that wanted us to believe that they were so sorry about what happened to Diana, only for them to ratchet up that same type of rhetoric. Poor Carolyn Flack, who for some reason became the chew toy of the tabloid press, right? And then when she couldn't take it anymore, she decided that she wanted out of this world, right? I'm trying not to say that word, but she wanted out of this world. And of course, they had that kumbaya moment again when they decided, okay, yeah, maybe we have gone too far, only for them to turn around and do it again and again and again. They always have to have someone to yeah, I know he kind of cut her off, didn't he? So yeah, sorry you guys if that was upsetting, but I couldn't think of any other way to make the point. So I said, let me go and dig that out. It's not easy, but it is just the way some people feel. So um yeah, Gertrude is a real person. Gertrude was a real person. Gertrude was someone who, I mean, she was trying to hold it together up until the very, last few minutes of the call. She tried to hold it together, but eventually that emotion that she carried around just poured out. It all came out. So, um, yeah, you're right. You're right. It does require deep breaths, going for a walk, and stepping away from it from time to time. Trina just looked at royal history. They are prone to offing anyone that challenges them in their situation in life. Tutors, anybody? Trina Hodges, is that a Greek name? Trina Hodges? That sounds very Greek to me. I found out that Hodges is actually a Greek name. I forgot how to say it with the Greek accent. Is it Hodges or something like that? But yeah, so sounds very Greek. But anyway, it's a very pretty name. Thank you for your comment. Okay. All right, the Royal Protection Squad. Who are the Royal Protection Squad, right? Who are the Royal Protection Squad? Well, the Royalty and Diplomatic Protection Group is an elite Scotland Yard squad charged with providing 24-hour security for the royal family and London's diplomatic community. Formed in 1983. Let me see. It is thought that up to 185 SAS trained officers, including uniformed officers and personal bodyguards, watch over an assortment of royals. Sounds like the Secret Service, doesn't it? Let me see. So I was right. Okay. See, I'm not just a pretty face. Okay, let me see there. I'm looking. That was for someone else. Robin Dennis, you know what? I was thinking about that this morning. I was thinking about that. And that's the thing about a person's physical safety. You have to get it right every time. An assassin only has to be right one time. That is why this is such a very important issue. And as we learned, when they stripped Diana of her HRH, obviously they felt as though no HRH, no need for royal protection. And so we were led to believe that Diana decided, oh, I don't want them around me. And just today, there was someone in the Daily Fail. There was an article in the Daily Fail today where someone who worked as a royal protection officer said that there is no way in the world, that Diana would have died in Paris that night if she still had a royal protection officer. No way. So let me see if I can find that story. Okay. Oh, that was some time ago. It may have disappeared off. Let me see. Boris Johnson spotted in Greece with his wife on the second holiday in 2 weeks. Lord have mercy. Well, the Daily Fail is turned against Boris Johnson. Oh, man. So I'm trying to find the story, but anyway, the guy said that there's no way that he said he would have made sure that Diana had her seatbelt on. And, for what that's worth, excuse me, I've thought about that time and time again. And the idea that they said that Diana always wore her seatbelt, right? And okay, let's accept that as the truth. And as a backseat passenger, some people don't wear their seat belts. I have been guilty of that myself, but we all should all the time. In the front seat, definitely. In the back seat, sometimes not. Although I should more often, but again, I have to admit, sometimes I don't. And then, of course, there's a possibility that sometimes you think you have clicked your seatbelt and you haven't. Sometimes you think you have put on your seatbelt and you've actually clicked it in that center seat buckle instead of the one designated for yours. So I've actually had someone recently tell me that the back seat buckle did not work. And so once they got out of my car, I went to the back seat and checked myself. Well, this father of one, who I don't know how that could have happened, but this father of one actually tried to put the seatbelt into the wrong buckle. He tried to latch the wrong one, and so he rode without his seatbelt on, um, because he couldn't click it. So that is a possibility. So there's lots of ways that something like that could happen, and just by chance, or as Diana said, they're going to make it look like an accident. Okay, I'm not going to remove that off the table either. Um, they'll make it look like an accident, right? Right. So anyway, you guys, sorry I cannot find that particular article, but yes, there was someone who worked in that service as a reaction to the documentary um, that aired last night, who said that if she would have had a royal protection officer, there's no way that would have happened. So I'm going to take his word for it, as I don't know him or anything else. Wow, Pennsylvania woman welcomes her 100th great grandchild. Wow, 100 great grandchildren? That family's been busy. Well, we know what they do in their free time, that's for sure. Okay, here it is. Princess Diana's bodyguard, she nicknamed Rambo, believes that the royal would still be alive if she was only I'm sorry, if he was on duty the night she died, saying he would have always insisted they wear seatbelts. Now, this guy, let me see what his name is. That's in the fail. I'm not sending you guys to the rag, but that's where I saw it. Um, Former bodyguard of Princess Diana, who she nicknamed Rambo after the 80s action character, says he believes she would still be alive had he been on duty the night she died. His name is Lee Sansom, so you could look up his story in some other place besides the Fail or the Sun. Um, Let me see. Alongside Dodi Fayed, he discussed how no one in the vehicle was wearing seatbelts. Something that sounds suspicious to me, don't it? Nobody in the vehicle had on seatbelts. Nobody. That's strange, isn't it? Wow, that sounds strange to me. Nobody in the front or back seat had a. Come on now, that sounds really strange. Well, and 25 years on from the devastating night, the former military police officer reveals how he could have been with the princess that weekend and with them in the car. He said if it could have been me in that car, we drew straws to see who would be accompanying Trevor Reese Jones that weekend. When I learned that they were not wearing seatbelts in the crash, I understood why they didn't survive. I always insisted on it. Okay, wow. Anyway, that's his side of the story. Oh, he has a book. Okay, you guys, he has a book. Credibility alert, he has a book. He made the comment while discussing his new book. Never mind. Never mind. Don't worry about it, y'all. Once I saw his new book, I was done. He has a book, you guys. He has a book. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Um, that's why I said the whole seatbelt thing sounds strange to me. Joseph Burno, haven't seen you here in a while. Hello to all my beloved vile individuals on Royal Sussex. Yes, I suppose that the what do you call it? The derangers are here in mass. And derangers, please don't forget to hit that thumbs down. Okay. Royal Suda says the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, aka RAVEC, assessed the security threat but concluded that Prince Andrew was still entitled to police bodyguards, making Harry's case that the Home Office decision was unreasonable. I mean, who's after? The only people I could see going after him is Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig may have, some people looking for him. But other than that, aside from a summons from a court in the United States, who else is after him? Uh, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Lean Cuisine. The American Dental Association, the British Dental Association. Who's after this guy? Huh? Is there some rogue orthodontist out there that's after him? I don't think so. Well, and I'm and or perhaps is there some ophthalmologist or optometrist that is trying to hunt him down and search for his whereabouts for some type of scientific medical study? That could be a possibility. I mean, there are quite okay. You know what, you guys? Let's expand upon that. There's a possibility that Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, or Lean Cuisine may be after him. Um, Dr. Pearl of the Pearl Vision Center may actually have some kind of grudge against him. So, yeah, there's a lot of people that may be after him. Uh, oh man. Okay. Okay. You know what? I'm going to have to be a little more open-minded about this. Maybe yes, the American Dental Association may have it in for him, right? There could be people after him with his little chubby self. Okay, you guys. Royal Protection Squad (RPS) watched over Queen and let me see, the immediate heirs to the throne before the IRA ceasefire. And this is another receipt from the squad. Before the IRA ceasefire, even the houses of the Queen's obscure cousins were given 24-hour protection. Although this had been scaled back, some fairly minor royals are still considered to merit protection of special officers. The Queen ordered the Royal Protection Services bodyguard to be sent to Switzerland to watch over Princess Beatrice. Now you know what? Now y'all know when I laugh like that, I want to get messy, but I'm gonna try not to do it. Um, it's something about watching over Beatrice that just triggered me, and y'all know what it is. So, and man, I don't have an in for Beatrice or Eugenie. I'm just saying that for the record. I don't have an in for either one of them. So, that being said, let me set up my messiness. Uh, let me go ahead and put my messiness together. Give me just a second. Oh man. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me y'all please give me a second. Let me get this out of my system. Let me get this out of my system, y'all. Let me get this out of my system. This is only gonna take a second. Let me see here. Okay. So, as said, that the Queen sent them to watch over her while she was in Switzerland, right? Um, as if she can't see what's coming. Now, I would think, I would think that if somebody, Lord forgive me, I would think that if somebody was trying to run up on her, that she would see them coming. Don't you? Something tells me that if somebody was about to run up on her, she would see it a mile away. I mean, it's just something about that family. Oh. Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those eyes? Da 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 da, ba ba da 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 da. So, okay, I'm gonna have to get off here. So I can't believe I've been on here for 2 hours. What in the world have I been talking about? But yeah, so I'm just saying, I don't know. I just think that if somebody was trying to run up on her, that she would see them coming and would have had ample warning. So I'm just saying I could have saved Her Majesty a little money. They ain't had to send nobody for her because she'd have saw it coming. Okay. All right, I got that out of my system, you guys. I feel better. Oh, this dress? This dress? Oh my God. Look at that outfit. What kind of decent person? Well, that answered my question right there. What kind of decent person would wear something like that? I tell you what, when they say that the royal family did not give any money to um, the Duchess of Sussex for her clothing allowance. I think the Duchess of Sussex, because she was independently wealthy before she got there, had means to dress herself. But obviously, not everybody in the family can afford to. And something tell me too that even if they did have the money, it wouldn't make a difference. It wouldn't even make a difference. There's an old saying. There's an old saying that fashion is something that you buy. Taste is something that you either have it or you don't. Either you have taste or you don't. But fashion, well, anybody can go out and buy a fashion. Um, that's easy. That's the easy one. But good taste, well, you either have it or you don't. So I'm gonna leave it right there because I have been on a roll for the past couple of minutes. And oh man. Okay. All right. So I'm done with her. I am done. Oh, I know. That looks worse than Kate's Country Kitchen Cottage curtains. That looks worse than Kate's Country Kitchen Cottage curtains. Okay. Right? Right. So where was I? Let me get back over here. And speaking of royal protection, whether or not they have royal protection, I think that day that that bird went after the Duchess, I'm sorry, the Countess of Wessex, royal protection officer or not, nothing was going to keep that bird from exacting its revenge upon her head. I mean, that bird took off like a rocket going after her, and I can't help but either think that it was because of the fact they gave that tacky gift to the prime minister, or maybe he just didn't like that outfit or something. But anyway, that bird just balled up his little talon and was like, "Oh, is that what we're wearing? Is that what we're wearing?" Anybody who wears stuff like that deserve what they get. Oh man. Okay, y'all. I'm done. That was me being tacky and being a bit shady. But you know how it is. It's not me if I don't end on a shady note. So, hey, Anastasia, Isabella, I hope you're doing well today. Let me see here. Y'all know I had to close this out being a little tacky. Let me see. What time is it? Is it 2 o'clock? Yeah. I've been on for 2 hours, you guys. I gotta get going here. So I hope this has been informative. I know it got a little emotional at a certain point, and then of course we had to end with a little shade, as we often do on Royal Sussex. Sometimes we start off with a little shade. Da 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 da. It's contagious too. It's contagious too. Woo! Oh Lord. I mean, she managed to just as you can see, it's contagious. Now he wasn't like that when he got there. Oh man. Oh, what's that? Ivy is on. Yeah. Well, Ivy is on, you guys. So if you guys want to get over to Ivy, let me get the link for you. Let me grab that link for Ivy. It is pre-recorded, so it doesn't matter where you hop in, but please do go over to Ivy so you can get some really, really good information about the workings of the royal family as it relates to human behavior, which is why I love Ivy so much, because she really gets into the causal connections, if I remember from my sociology class. Okay. That is the link. Okay, let me get back here. Let me get back here. Da 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 da. Jeepers creepers. Okay, now I want to pin this. Okay. I want to, oh, actually, I want to peg it. Okay, yeah, I'm getting a little loopy, you guys. I got to get out of here. So there it is at the top of the comments. That is the link for Ivy, the Sussex Global UK. And yeah, see y'all later. Okay, that's it. Last comment. Who has the last comment of the day? Something that will unite us and bring us all together. Oh, that is hypnotic. Let me get them off that screen. That is hypnotic. I found myself getting a little woozy. Nope, not that. Oh, yeah, there we go. This is what I was looking for. That was from yesterday. Okay, let me see here. I did not mean to stay on this long today. Well, thank you, Diana. You have done an amazing job in spite of the fact that that entire institution was conspiring against you. And thank you, Doria, for being a rock for the Sussex family. And last comment of the day is, let me see. The last of the day. Oh, okay, that's it. Thank you, Diane Hawkins. Another congratulations to Archwell. And remember the birthday tribute to Sentabale. which is in the community tab. If you go back about a week, you'll find it there in the community tab. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's avenge ourselves out of here. I love you guys, and I will see you all tomorrow on Royal Sussex. And don't forget, I'm going to be late a couple days next week because I have another dental appointment because I'm trying to get my smile back. And also, I have a day with my aunt. I have to help her. So there'll be a couple days late next week. But other than that, where I've always been, right here. Okay, cute ginger.